Shalom. All praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Hey, real quick, man, I just wanted to go over this stupid ass law that we got to deal with now. Because you got all these damn Edomites out here. You know, they want to try to fuck with you and do, the most and do the extra because they got this new law. I'm gonna just get into this article. The whistleblowers in Missouri's public sector would get new safeguards under a proposal meant to undo one of the effects of a controversial discrimination law passed earlier this year. Supporters say the safeguards are necessary as a result of Senate Bill 43, which raises the bar from those suing for discrimination in Missouri. Right, it took effect in August, right, after the Republicans controlled the legislature, of course, including the governor, Eric Greitens, this fucking dude. He's like, I think he was a Marine or something. Now he's a damn governor. You know, they do that Arnold Schwarzenegger shit with him. They want him to be a symbol of, of that white supremacy. Say the law simply brings Missouri in line with 38 other federal states and the federal government. He said the law would help prevent trial lawyers from killing good jobs. So, as we're ramping up, man, these Edomites are getting real fucking desperate for trying to keep their businesses alive, trying to keep all that shit alive. But they still want to preserve that evil and that wickedness. They still want the power to fuck with you on the job and do little shit like that. And, his brother send prayers out for me, man, because I'm dealing with that shit right now. That these Edomites, and with the law, you have to have basically have unequivocal written evidence that race is a motivating factor for you not being in a certain position in the job, or them firing you or something like that. And of course, we know that that's the fucking devil with his forked tongue speaking. I mean, it's just complete bullshit, man. Because, if you have common sense, you can clearly see why, these people, who's in the office, why they're in the office. It is what it is. But you can clearly see it. I mean, obviously, they're not going to be dumb enough to say it. But that's the whole Trump juice, trumped up situation. You have these proud ass Edomites who they want, they want that same energy back, as they had in the 40s, because when Trump said that shit, they jumped on hard because they can see, Jake kind of rising up in the different nations, rising up. It's not like it was where America used to punk everybody and do all that. You have people waking up and rising up. And then you got the men of the Lord out on the streets. That's the number one thing. You got the so-called prophets under the apostles and the elders out on the streets calling Esau out for his bullshit. We go to the gates of the nobles, shake the hand, and it's just crazy though, just to see devils squirm. It's a beautiful thing though. That's how you know we're at the end. It said, it will prevent trial lawyers from killing good jobs. It is one of several tort reforms Republicans hope will reduce the number of frivolous lawsuits that hurt businesses in the state. Yeah, bullshit. They don't want to lose money, but they still want to be some racist devils to your fucking face. Now Missourians have to prove their race, sex, or other protected status actually motivated their boss or colleague to mistreat them to win cases like wrongful termination suits. And that shit happens all the time, and that's why in these different little cities, it's you have you funnel in Jake into certain areas, and then they funnel us, they redline us in, so you have to live in the certain areas, and then they go in them areas, and they fuck up the politics, they fuck up the economics, and they have Jake in a fucked up school system. Then they have, they got you at the job, you know what I'm saying? You know the case. You first fired, last hired. And they trying to get rid of you as soon as you get in the door. And Jake, man, but then they'll complain, when it's crime or when you got people making, stupid decisions trying to reach out and get some shit that you people perpetuate on TV. You people put that shit out there, and you people brought, it's coming out. You people brought the drugs into this country. You people still bring the drugs in, the heroin, the cocaine. It's no, hey, everybody knows it's a heroin epidemic. It's an epidemic with pills. You Edomites did that. The fucking Edomites, you brought that shit into the country. You create that shit. You manufacture that shit. You Edomites, you also, a lot of you have greater knowledges of the herbs and the different herbal supplements and stuff. It would be very easy for you Edomites to put that stuff out there. But like we always say, we know that you're the wicked, so you're not going to do that. And then you do go to a health food store or something, they're trying to sell that shit for you for way, way higher than what it is. They're trying to charge you an arm and a leg just so you can try to keep a clear mind. You really have to pay extra for that alkaline water. You really have to do all of that just so you can have a balanced mind and a balanced head about, what's going on. But just wanted to push the vibration out there. That aspect of the bill got the most attention during the most recent legislative session, particularly among civil rights groups, with the NAACP going so far as to issue a travel advisory in its reg. And that's what happened. The NAACP, we know the NAACP was found by so-called Khazars, so-called Jews, fake Jews. And then they put W.E.B. Du Bois in charge of it, and then, they picked the Boule niggas from there and there. But they did that, to take money out of their pocket. That's basically what this is. Trying to say it's a money thing. NAACP is, they right with the shits. And that's why with all this shit going on, the NAACP isn't doing anything. They're not rising up. They would never go out on the highways and byways and get into, even the details of the laws, and they would never do that because they're not for the people. That's just a name. See, look, we have an organization. We love diversity. That's a little figurehead, that they use to keep people in check. The NAACP and the United Negro College Fund. That shit don't do shit. Finishing up. We'll go Jake now. Lost in the shuffle was the removal of legal protections for whistleblowers, argues Missouri Auditor Nicole Galloway. She cited investigations launched by state lawmakers into the Department of Corrections after reports exposed a culture of harassment and retaliation in Missouri prisons. The state has paid millions in damages to corrections employees who came forward and shared experiences of being harassed because of sex, religion, race, or disability, and being retaliated against for speaking out. Without safeguards to prevent retaliation or the firing of whistleblowers, which that's probably some Edomites anyway, because I've never even heard of that shit. That's probably some Edomites doing some shit in the background. Fewer would be willing to come forward for fear of losing their jobs. We don't want to perpetuate bad behavior by sweeping it under the rug. That's exactly what the fuck you just did, though. But let's let the scriptures speak. We don't want to perpetuate bad behavior. That's exactly what that's going to do. Because now it's so hard to prove that, even if you know without a shadow of a doubt. Now they want you to talk about you have to prove it non-equivocally. But an Edomite can always have an angle against you and say it's some bullshit, and then you'll just be wasting your money in the courtroom. That's why we're not focused on getting a new law passed or going into the courtroom or standing out and picketing for some new laws or starting our own country, or declaring, changing our status, doing a status correction. As Israelites, we're not concerned with that shit because that's not going to do anything. This man will always have an angle he can use against you as long as you are in his society under his power. The only way for us out of here is for Yahweh to send his son, Yahweh Shai, and for him to come back as a heavenly force, which he's going to do, is prophesied that he's going to do. That's it. Everything as Israelites that we say and we speak, we're under that command and that order of Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai. We're not speaking out of our own mouths. We're not supposed to speak out of our own hearts. Sometimes we have our moments where we might share an experience, but this is all about Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai. This is his movie. This is his thing. He set the wicked up in power for them to be able to do stuff like this. And, of course, they're going to push that shit to the very T, to the very limit. But going to the scriptures, Isaiah 10 and 1, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and that right grievousness which they have prescribed, to turn aside the needy from judgment and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey and that they may rob the fatherless. And what will ye do in the day of visitation and in the desolation which shall come from far? To whom will ye flee for help? And where will ye leave your glory? Without me they shall bow down under the prisoners, and they shall fall under the slain. For all this his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still. God. And it says, "O Assyrian," but it's talking about Esau. "O Assyrian, the rod of mine anger and the staff in their hand is mine indignation. I will send him against a hypocritical nation, and against the people of my wrath will I give him a charge to take the spoil and to take the prey and to tread them down like the mire in the street." And as we know, that's of course that's talking about Yahweh Shai, because America in the Bible, it refers to America as Assyria. It refers to America as Babylon. It refers to America as Egypt. It refers to America as all of these things. And sometimes, it's a twofold thing. Sometimes it's talking about Assyria, but then later on, it's actually talking about future prophecy for what's going to happen to America. And now, to see that understanding, you should have to keep studying, keep going through the videos. If you're around an elder, you seek the counsel for that information. I will send him, Yakan, verse 7, "Howbeit he meaneth not so, neither doth in his heart think so, but it is in his heart to destroy and cut off nations, not a few. For he saith, Are not my princes altogether kings? Is not Calno as Carchemish? Is not Hamath as Arpad? Is not Samaria as Damascus? As my hand hath found the kingdoms of the idols, and whose grave images did excel them of Jerusalem and of Samaria. Shall I not, as I have done unto Samaria and her idols, so do to Jerusalem and her idols?" That's right. And but with that, we say all praises to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Divine, say apostles and elders of great millstone. Shalom.